how are you? And welcome to my channel, Morgan's Way. Today I wanted to talk about all of the books that I read in August. We are continuing the trend of not having the best reading months. I don't know what it is about summer, but for the longest time I have always slumped out in summer. I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe it's just because I'm not a huge fan of summer. I really don't like the heat, and I feel like the heat just makes me lazy. I don't have any motivation to read or do anything at all, really. So I think that might be part of the problem. However, I do feel myself coming out of my slump. I do feel that drive to read as many books as possible and just like keep going and keep grinding. I feel that it's coming back. The only problem is that I have ADHD and I get sidetracked, and I feel like sometimes I'm just really in the mood to listen to music. As we all know, Sabrina Carpenter just came out with a new album and it is freaking bomb and I can't stop listening to it. But whenever I'm just listening to music, I'm not reading because I definitely can't do both at once. I don't know how you guys do that. The people that can, you're amazing. So good for you. Couldn't be me. So yeah, sometimes I want to listen to music. I love podcasts. I also really love watching other people's YouTube videos, and all of those things take away from time that I could be reading. So I feel like I've been kind of struggling to make time for it in my schedule. So that's kind of the main problem now. It's not that I don't want to necessarily, it's just that I'm kind of distracted. So yeah, I only finished 4 books in August, and before you ask, no, I did not finish Winter Kill by Ragnar Jonasson. I know, I'm trying. I did read a little bit more of it, but I did not finish it. I swear to God, it's just gonna take like a couple hours. I just need to sit down and get to it, but I keep forgetting or doing other things. Lately, my spouse and I have been on this kick of watching shitty horror movies together, and that's been really fun. We've been having a great time with that. So I just haven't been like sitting and reading, especially in the evening, like after I get home from work, but I really want to. So no, that's not one of the 4, but I did read 4 other books this month, and I would like to tell you about them. The first book that I read in August was Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I have been wanting to read this for so long. I don't remember when I bought this exactly. I got it secondhand, but I wanted to read it even before then because it was so popular. I know that it got turned into like a limited series, and I still haven't watched that yet. I really want to. But that was part of my drive for wanting to read the book because I knew it was getting turned into a TV show, and I was like, well, I'm gonna want to watch that, so obviously I gotta read it first. And let me tell you, I'm so sad that I let this sit on my shelf for so long because I really liked it. It was kind of a sleeper hit for me. Like, it wasn't one of those books where I was like, oh my God, this is so good, I'm thinking about it constantly. But the whole time that I was reading it, I was like, I can't wait to get back to it. I can't put this down. So I did actually give it 5 stars. This is a book about many people. There is this super affluent town, and there's this family, the Richardsons. They've lived in this town for generations, and they also have like a condo that they own and lease out, and this woman, Mia, and her daughter Pearl come and move in. And then this book kind of follows how Mia and Pearl's lives intertwine with the Richardsons' lives. Pearl ends up being really close to pretty much all of the Richardson kids, and all of the dynamics between the various characters are really interesting. I felt like the characters were really well fleshed out. This is a literary fiction, by the way. It's got some hints of romance. It's definitely got drama. It didn't feel too unrealistic though. It was super interesting, and I had no idea what was going on until the very end, which I thought was great because a lot of times if you run into a book where you accidentally guess what's going to happen and then you're right, sometimes it can feel like so boring because you don't want to guess the ending. You want it to be clever enough to like trick you, right? But this book definitely had me the entire time, so I feel like I really recommend it and I cannot wait to watch the show. I am really excited for that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'll let you know when I do. After that, I read the Hawthorne Legacy on my Kindle. This is a second book in the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I was not the biggest fan of the first book. I gave it 3 stars. I felt like as a 25-year-old adult reading this YA book that's generally targeted towards like teenagers, it wasn't the best. It was super predictable. The love triangle was getting on my nerves so badly. I really wasn't sure whether or not I was going to continue the series after reading the first one. And I can confidently say that the second book is giving the same vibe. I also gave it a 3. I just didn't really care. I don't super care about these characters. I wanted to get through it as fast as possible. I do think that it was a little bit better than the first one. I think it was a little bit more interesting, kept my attention a little bit more, but it still deserved the same rating in my opinion. A lot of the same things still got on my nerves. I still felt like it was predictable. I felt like the characters are really melodramatic. I absolutely hate the love triangle. I think it's really gross. I don't like it. Stop putting brothers in love triangles, please. I hate this. I really do. And it feels particularly icky for some reason that it's teenagers. I don't know. I can't get into it. I know it's a super popular series, but it's just like not for me, I guess. I honestly still don't know whether or not I'm going to continue with the series. I feel like there are far too many books in this series for me to keep going. Low-key feel like it's a waste of my time when there are so many other books that I'm so much more excited to read. I felt like I was kind of forcing myself to finish this one. Like, you don't want to be dragging your feet to read a book. You want to read it because you want to read it. Like, we're not in school, we're not being forced to read these books. This is for fun. I'm not having fun. So, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to continue it. For some reason, I only had the first, second, and fourth books on my Kindle. I normally only buy Kindle books when they're on like a super good sale. So I guess the third one just never went on sale. And because I don't own it, I feel like I'm even less incentivized to read it. So, I don't know. That's a bridge that we'll cross on another day. But for now, I'm definitely going to put this series down for a minute because it's not exciting for me. So, yeah. The Hawthorne Legacy, 3 stars. Then I read The Midnight Feast, which is the newest release from mystery author Lucy Foley. I have read The Guest List, The Paris Apartment, and The Hunting Party by her. I loved all of those books so much. I still think about them frequently. I would definitely reread some of them, if not all of them. I've given all of them 4 or 5 stars, and this was no exception. Oh my gosh, 5 stars, amazing. I loved this book. So just like all of her other locked room thrillers, we've got a big cast. Each chapter switches perspectives. They're all first person's perspective, and it goes between a couple characters, which I always really enjoy. I love that she does that. I love listening to the audiobooks of these books because they have different narrators for each person, and I really like that. I feel like it almost feels like an audio drama or something because there's all these different characters in play. This centers around this resort that is built in this small town. Most of the locals are upset about it. It was built by this local girl who was super rich. She inherited the plot of land when her grandparents passed away, and she decided to build this resort on it. It's very much giving like Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow wellness vibes, but you also know that like it's fake. There's something going on with her. There's something amiss. And then there's also this guest that has come to the opening weekend of the resort, and right off the bat, you hear that she's going by a fake name, and she's got something against the owner, Francesca. So I felt like I was sucked in right away. I wanted to know what was going on. And then there's this really interesting element of these like local legends, and I really liked that. I felt like it was really interesting to me. A lot of older towns have like those creepy stories that are passed down by word of mouth. And I thought that this was really interesting that this mystery incorporated that and the fear that a lot of the locals have of this local legend. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that it was like interesting and different. And just like all of Lucy Foley's other books that I've read, I have no idea what's going on until the very end. There are twists, but not too many. It's just that right amount, which is feeling like it's really hard to find these days, unfortunately. So yeah, I really recommend it. I was a little bit nervous when I heard that it was gonna come out because I feel like I think so highly of this author, and I wasn't sure whether or not she was going to be able to keep that streak going, but she definitely has. This was a 5-star instant favorite for me, and I definitely think that you should read it as well if you're into mystery thrillers. And last but most certainly not least, I read Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Yes, I finally got to it, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint for me. No, it didn't. This was also a 5-star read, just like Powerless. It kept me on the edge of my seat, giggling and kicking my feet. I am obsessed with Kai and Peyton. I could not be more invested in their story. And just like Powerless, this left me on the worst cliffhanger. I was literally... my jaw was like literally on the floor. I could not believe that that was the end of the book, and there was absolutely nothing that I could do about it. So I guess I'll just have to wait until whenever Lauren Roberts decides to bless us with the next one. Have no idea when that's gonna be, but I need it to be soon, because what the heck am I gonna do? I have no clue what's gonna happen next with these characters. When I finished this book, I forced my bestie Elle to just like hear about the entire plot of this series because I desperately needed to talk about it with somebody. I don't have anybody in my personal life that reads these kind of books, and so I just needed to spew all my thoughts and opinions on somebody, so I did that. She probably loved that. And now I'm coming to you guys to spew my thoughts and opinions to you as well. If you've read this series, please, 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 please tell me in the comments what your thoughts are. I need a friend to speak to about this because wow. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. I feel like when it comes to a second, third, fourth book in a series, I kind of can't give you a synopsis because it basically just spoils the first book. So I can't really tell you what happens in this one. Guess you'll just have to read the series to find out. But yeah, I loved this. I love Lauren Roberts. She has my heart. I'd try whatever she reads. So yeah, finally read Reckless, and it wrecked me for sure. Those are all the books that I read this month. Not very many, but I feel like this month was more quality over quantity, if you know what I mean. 3 5-star books and a 3-star, not that bad. I'm not gonna complain about that. Comment down below what was your favorite book that you read in August. I would love to know. Maybe I'll add it to my TBR if I haven't read it already. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. If you like this video, you can give it a like. If you like me and my channel and you haven't already, you can hit that subscribe button. All of my social media links are in the description below if you'd like to go follow me on Instagram and Threads and Spotify and Pinterest. You can go do that if you would like. And I will see you next time. Bye!